But that's one of the most important things that we focused on in the beginning. If your website's not optimized and you're not constantly updating content and optimizing keywords for your specific business, your website will just get lost in one of the millions of pages along with all the other millions of websites that are out there. So focusing on websites and understanding how they work and understanding the needs that that website needs from the business itself in order to rank high. That was like an eye opener when you guys taught us all about that. And then when we started focusing on that as one of the first things in our system that we started developing, man, it's made a huge difference. I mean, we are, even with new locations that are coming on right now, I mean, they're typically ranking within the top 10. Whereas like had we not taken your advice and had your help, we wouldn't have been able to optimize any of our pages and have them ranking what they're ranking today. But it's a never ending process. I mean, it's a never ending process. You always got to be adding new information. You got to update old information, and you got to keep your website current, and it's definitely got to be optimized. So the scripts themselves, we worked on those initially, and we went from not having scripts at all to literally just you showing us how to write scripts, the importance of the scripts, getting all your people on the same script. And because you're used to doing something a certain way, even though it may not be the best way to do it, once you get in that that mindset, it's hard to get out of it.
Clay Clark is here somewhere. Where's my buddy Clay? Clay's the greatest. I met his goats today. I met his dogs. I met his chickens. I saw his compound. He's like the greatest guy.
I ran from his goats, his chickens, his dogs.
So this guy's like the greatest marketer you've ever seen, right? His entire life, Clay Clark, his entire life is marketing.
You could be anywhere doing a lot of different things, but you chose to be here.
Some shows don't need a celebrity narrator to introduce the show, but this show does. In a world filled with endless opportunities, why would two men who have built 13 multi-million-dollar businesses altruistically invest 5 hours per day to teach you the best practice business systems and moves that you can use? Because they believe in you, and they have a lot of time on their hands. They started from the bottom, now they're here. It's the Thrivetime show starring the former U.S. Small Business Administration's Entrepreneur of the Year, Clay Clark, and the entrepreneur trapped inside an optometrist's body, Dr. Robert Zoellner. 2 men, 8 kids, co-created by 2 different women, 13 multi-million-dollar businesses.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, now we're here.
Started from the bottom, and now we're at the top, teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of 5, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the CNC up on your radio, and now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we're here. We started from the bottom, and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we're here.
Folks, on today's show, I am so fired up here to be joined by the founder of WindowNinjas.com. That's WindowNinjas.com. He's a wonderful entrepreneur. It's a great brand we've had the opportunity to work with for several years here. With that being said, Gabe Salinas, welcome on to the Thrivetime Show. How are you, sir?
I'm great, Clay. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate you being here.
Now, brother, I'm going to pull up your website in just a second so people can check it out. Can you tell us, how large is WindowNinjas.com? How many locations do you now have open?
Currently, we operate 10 locations. 6 are franchised, and the other 4 are corporately owned. We're looking to grow and expand. I'd like to get to the number 30 over the next couple years.
Well, when I first met you, I know that you had some big, big goals. And I think to a certain extent, I mean, you've achieved many of those goals, those initial goals in terms of systemizing and growth. And now you're at a place where you're selling franchises. Could you tell us what kind of work had to go into refining the brand before you were at a place where you were comfortable franchising the company now, like you're doing today?
Well, there was many a days where I would lock myself in my office and isolate myself from the world just so I could sit down and focus and put the time needed to write down every single system and process that there was going on at Window Ninjas at that time. And I'm not saying that that doesn't ever stop, because you're always refining and new systems will come up, or you'll have new technology that needs to be addressed and introduced into the systems for those specific tasks that rely on those things. But yeah, I was having a conversation about this exact thing the other day, about how much time I literally shut my door, isolated myself from everybody in the company, and said, if I don't get this done, um, it's going to be detrimental to the business. And I had my troops and everybody rally around me and say, okay, great, we got this, we handle it, everything's good. You do what you got to do. And yeah, it was a tough journey. That first year we sat down and started working with you guys and getting all these things done. But it has gotten better over the last, gosh, 4 or 5 years now. And we've continually grown, and those systems have been updated, and and then there's other new systems that are coming on board, whether we got a new, like right now we have a new CRM that we're utilizing for all of our franchisees. And it's a process we have to go through. We have to detail every single thing that goes on in that system, and note it, and so that way we can do it for training and those kind of purposes as well. It's a lot that goes on, man.
Now, you've systemized every aspect. I mean, we've worked with you on systemizing every aspect of the business. And so I wanted to take time, if we can, and just kind of go through a few of those systems, just so people can understand the kind of value that they're going to receive if they buy a windowninjas.com franchise, and also so people can really learn about how to optimize their own companies. First off, the website. It's never done. It's always being optimized. But getting to the top of the Google search engine results, that was a huge task. That was a big part of the puzzle, getting the website optimized. Can you talk about what kind of impact it's made on your business having an optimized website?
That's one of the most important things that we focused on in the beginning. And if your website's not optimized, and you're not constantly updating content and optimizing keywords for your specific business, your website will just get lost in one of the millions of pages, along with all the other millions of websites that are out there. So focusing on websites and understanding how they work, and understanding the needs that website needs from the business itself in order to rank high. That was like an eye-opener when you guys taught us all about that. And then when we started focusing on that as one of the first things in our system that we started developing, man, it's made a huge difference. I mean, we are, even with new locations that are coming on right now, I mean, they're typically ranking within the top 10. Whereas like had we not taken your advice and had your help, we wouldn't have been able to optimize any of our pages and have them ranking what they're ranking today. But it's a never-ending process. I mean, it's a never-ending process. You always got to be adding new information. You got to update old information, and you got to keep your website current, and it's definitely got to be optimized.
Now, again, I'll move off the search engine thing in just a second, but there's somebody out there. I mean, that might be the reason alone that they decide to buy a windowninjas.com franchise, because you, as a Window Ninjas franchisee, benefit from the fact that you guys provide the search engine optimization for your locations. What kind of an impact in terms of revenue or maybe lead flow does it make, or has it made on your business, having an optimized website? Because somebody's watching this show right now and they're not getting leads.
Well, what's cool is you can pay for leads. I mean, so we do spend money on paid ads. However, it's really nice to have our organic search results outpace our paid lead ads. Not only does that save our franchisees money in ad spend, but it also generates a better client. Somebody that finds you organically because you are at the top, and having the most Google reviews helps with that as well. But those two things really, really, really matter. And it's nice when our franchisees see that they've gotten some good quality leads from a customer that just found us organically, because they know that customer didn't spend any of their ad money for them to gather that lead. And then when they actually perform the service for that specific lead and the customer's happy, and then they leave them a 5-star review, I mean, it's just a much better feeling for those guys because they know that it was just from hard work, diligence, and having our expertise in actually optimizing those specific pages for them.
Now, once you get your website optimized, leads start coming in. People start finding you on the Google search results. And now again, with your business, this is not a problem because you guys have a call center that handles the scheduling of all the appointments for your franchisees. But a lot of folks, they don't have a call center that answers the phones for them or that schedules appointments for them. Talk about the work that went into, because I remember working with you guys specifically on refining all your scripts, and they're so good. I mean, you guys have really refined everything to the point now where your call center really is world class, first class, however you want to describe it. Can you talk about just the work that went into optimizing your scripts, and then what kind of call center apparatus that you provide for your franchisees?
So the scripts themselves, we worked on those initially, and we went from not having scripts at all to literally just you showing us how to write scripts, the importance of the scripts, getting all your people on the same script. And, because you're used to doing something a certain way, even though it may not be the best way to do it, once you get in that mindset, it's hard to get out of it. And so the right person that wants to look into a windowninjas.com franchise is somebody that's probably got the right mindset, that understands that, okay, well, if this is the system and this is what works, then this is what we're going to do every single day. And the benefit of having one of our franchises is the fact that we do have a call center here in our corporate office, and it is always staffed 5 days a week. We come in at 7 o'clock in the morning. Somebody doesn't leave till 6 o'clock in the evening. And so that accounts for any franchise that's in the Eastern Coast or the Central Coast or Mountain Time. So we can affect all of those things, but the scripts themselves, it allows for uniformity of everybody answers the calls the same way. Everybody gets the same information from the client each and every phone call. We're able to handle each one of our individual clients' needs based on those scripts. And then we're actually able to do things like schedule the job with a credit card, getting that email address, making sure that their phone numbers are correct. And by having all of those scripts and having our call center do all of that work for our franchisees, it takes a load off their back. They know their phones are being answered. They know they have jobs getting scheduled on their calendar. They know they have quotes coming in and are getting scheduled on the person who's doing the quotes. They see those leads that are coming in. We differentiate for them what type of leads they are, whether it's an organic lead, whether it's a paid ad, might come from Facebook or social media, things like that. And so it starts to give them a big, broader view of things, of what's going on in their business and how much we play a pivotal role in facilitating the needs of their clients in their backyard. And man, that's probably one of the most beneficial reasons of joining our team over here at Window Ninjas, is the fact that we do have a call center, and it's manned every single day, with an exception of a few holidays. But it just saves those guys so much time and energy and expenses by not having to monitor the phones themselves, not having to monitor a human to actually answer those phones. Because God knows that, if their employee doesn't show up that day, then that means they're going to be stuck in the office answering phone calls when they should be out checking on their service providers, as well as doing quotes and meet and greets of that, so that they can generate more business.
I just can't speak highly enough about the systems you guys have in place there at windowninjas.com. One more system I wanted to focus on that you guys provide for your franchisees is, again, you provide the lead generation, you provide the scheduling for them, but you provide the ongoing coaching and support. Somebody buys a windowninjas.com franchise. You guys are obsessed with making sure that your franchisees can go out there and deliver world-class solutions, world-class results, world-class, really just a product and a service. And what I find is that, that, and I could sit here on today's show and talk about how obsessed you are with quality, but could you talk about the systems that you have in place in terms of checklists, and documentation that ensures your franchisees can go out there and deliver a high quality result every single time?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I have 32 years of knowledge in this industry, I understand every aspect of the business, from how to clean a window, how to wash a house, how gutters should be cleaned, the inspection reports that should be done with each one of those services, how to address a customer when you first get to their home or business. I mean, it's everything, every single thing. I've been there, done that. I started from the bottom, and I've worked my way up to the top. I know the difference between a good franchise system and a bad franchise system because I have lived both. And we've developed everything around here based on helpful information from guys like yourself, Clay, me constantly studying, training, educating myself on new systems and processes, and then just literally just sitting down and taking the time each and every day to write down and implement and basically put every single thing that I know into a system and a process of how to do that specific system. And that's one of the benefits of having a Window Ninjas franchise, is that you are trained as a franchisee on all of these things that we have done over the past years, along with my 30 some years of experience. And then we have just put it into a simple, easy to understand checklist, along with a detailed description of how each system and process works. And then we do that ongoing training with each one of the franchisees so that they now have the knowledge and the confidence to go out there and wow their customers, generate some good revenue for themselves, build the life that they want, earn the financial freedom and the time freedom that they want, and then just have a business that works for them as opposed to them working in the business. And that's super important, Clay. I think that's the one thing that a lot of people overlook, is the fact that if you really want to run a business, have a business that runs and can run without you. And that's one of the most important things that people should know about windowninjas.com, is that we have developed a system that does exactly that.
Final 30 seconds here. If people want to reach out to you at windowninjas.com, they want to buy a windowninjas.com franchise, how do they go about doing it? And how much money does it cost to get in the game with a windowninjas.com franchise?
Man, we make it really easy, Clay. You can go onto our website and you can click on the franchise button, and it will take you to the franchise page. There's a form there. You can fill it out. It'll come straight over here to my team, and one of my awesome staff members will reach out to that specific individual who's showing interest, and then we start the conversation. We ask them, questions about themselves. We ask them what they're looking for in a business. We're looking for what kind of goals they're trying to achieve. And then we start giving them information like money. What does it cost? Franchise fees, $49,500. If they buy the high-rise addendum, it's another $10,000. Trucks, equipment, things of that nature. All in, they're probably looking somewhere around 150 to 175, depending on which choices that they make. But they can generate that revenue. They can earn that amount of revenue back within the first year. And our goal here is to get these guys up and running as fast as we can, as fast as they want to grow, and get them to where they are highly successful in their backyard, making money, living the life that they want, having the time freedom and the financial freedom that they want, all with our help and them being great at what they do in their backyard.
So good. Sir, I really do appreciate you. I cannot speak highly enough about windowninjas.com. If you're out there today looking for a franchise opportunity for you and your family to achieve time and financial freedom, check out windowninjas.com. And on part 2 of today's show, we're going to do a deep dive into the business systems that allow a small business to scale. Again, Gabe Salinas, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Thanks for having me, Clay. Have a good day.
Bye.
My name is Stephen Hall, and I run a company called Modscenes. We do stage backdrop design and DMX-controlled lighting fixtures. The systems that we put together, that you guys have helped us put together at Thrive, have been awesome. So we've been able to streamline our process for manufacturing and for fulfillment. We have a checklist for every single order that we do now, and it makes our process super quick. Many of our clients have very demanding schedules. A lot of times things will have to be turned around and put on a flight the same or next day. So it's helped us tremendously to be able to have, paperwork to know this is where this is going, this is the date it needs to be there, here's all the components, and have a file on file. So if we need to come back to it, we can always look back. And this was what was sent. There's to know how to talk knowledgeably to the customer as we're moving forward for customer support. With the systems, we've been able to do a better job at following up on leads. So we have a tracking sheet that we keep pretty up to date. We'll go through and make sure that we notate details from calls to make sure that whenever we're doing, whenever we're doing a sales call, that if we're finding out specific information like a deadline for a project, we can put all that information in one place and be able to quickly jump into return calls, even if it's not the same person. So if I take a call and I connect with a client at the beginning of the week and somebody else takes the call later in the week, we can be on the same page and be able to work seamlessly with that client, make sure they're taken care of. So we have a huge amount of accountability with our order pull sheets. So we're able to see how, who's packed the order, who double checked the order, and if something's not right, whenever we find out about it, we go back to that sheet and we say, hey, these are the people who are on the order, this is what was wrong, here's how we can improve it. Another way is we've done a write-up system. So if we have an issue with a staffer, we write them up, not out of a sense of punishment, but more correction. We'll go through and we'll correct them so they know the expectation. And after doing that multiple times, we know if somebody's a good fit or not. The good people, typically, we don't have to do that with, which is awesome.
Yeah.
There's some things that we've given a little bit of pushback on initially, and every single thing that I've given pushback on, once I've actually implemented it, it has helped us tremendously. So, Jason, everybody over at Thrive, they understand the system, they've worked it, they've tested it, they keep testing it over and over again. So if they're telling you something, they have a reason for telling you. And at least give it some time. Don't do it once. Do it a dozen times. Do it 50 times. Give it a good, solid try and make sure, because you'll see that it works.
Okay, my name is Christina Nemeth, and our business is Angel's Touch Auto Body and Detailing. Born, Massachusetts. Well, these systems have really helped us immensely because you really want to try and work on your business, not in it. And these things that you guys have implemented and helped me implement and take over for me have given me much more ample time to really focus on building the business. And that's why we've grown by, 70+% this year. And December was up about 170% from the last December, from the SEO to the website building and advertisement management for me, plus all the systems like Google reviews and lead tracking, and there's a litany of them. They've been huge for us, a game changer. Well, you can't measure, you can't change what you don't measure. So we're measuring everything from our calls to, we already were doing that with our accounting and bookkeeping and numbers, but also with just everything in general. When you have those systems in place and you're constantly tracking and looking at your numbers and your leads and your phone calls, and making sure that those are in place. When they're reading the script and they're saying the same thing over and over again to every customer, so it keeps it, even keeled. So when someone calls or comes in, it's the same every time. It's not all over the place. One day we have someone here that knows what they're talking about, and then the other, we're all on the same page. So yeah, it's been huge. Well, you just got to bite the bullet and do it. It's going to, at first, be a lot of work. It's going to really have you be digging deep. But in the long run, it's going to make your life easier. It's going to make your business run smoother. You're going to be less stressed. You're going to be more on top of all your numbers and your customers and, everything that you need to be on top of as a business owner. And it's just a no-brainer. And, of course, change is hard. But with this change, this has been a huge change for us, and it's been nothing but positive.
Okay, Aaron Antis, March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, guess who's coming to Tulsa, Jerusalem?
Ooh, Santa Claus?
No, that's March. March 6th and 7th, we're going to be joined by Robert Kiyosaki.
Robert Kiyosaki.
Best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Probably the best-selling, or one of the best-selling business authors of all time. And he's going to be joined with Eric Trump. He'll be joined by Eric Trump. So we got Eric Trump, and Robert Kiyosaki in the same place.
In the same place.
Aaron, why should everybody show up to hear Robert Kiyosaki?
Well, you got billions of dollars of business experience between those two, not to mention many, many, many millions of books have been sold. Many, many millionaires have been made from the books that have been sold by Robert Kiyosaki. I happen to be one of them. I learned from the man. He was the inspiration. That book was the inspiration for me to get the entrepreneurial spirit, as many other people.
Now, since you won't brag on yourself, I will. You've sold billions of dollars of houses, am I correct?
That is true.
And the book that kickstarted it all for you,
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, the author, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki, the guy that kickstarted your career.
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
He's going to be here. I'm pumped.
And now Eric Trump, people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. There's not 50 employees. The Trump organization, again, most people don't know this, but the Trump organization has thousands of employees. And while Donald J. Trump was the 45th president of these United States and soon to be the 47th president of these United States, he needed someone to run the companies for him. And so the man that runs the Trump organization for Donald J. Trump, as he was the 45th president of the United States and now the 47th president of the United States, is Eric Trump. And so Eric Trump is here to talk about time management, promoting from within, marketing, branding, quality control, sales systems, workflow design, workflow mapping, how to build. I mean, everything that you see, the Trump hotels, the Trump golf courses, all their products, the man who manages billions of dollars of real estate and thousands of employees is here to teach us how to do it.
You are talking about one of the greatest brands on the planet from a business standpoint.
Right.
I mean, who else has been able to create a brand like the Trump brand? I mean, look at it. And this is the man behind the business for the last pretty much since 2015. He's been the man behind it. So you're talking, we're into 9 going into 10 years of him running it, and we get to tap into that knowledge. That's going to be amazing.
Now, think about this for a second. Would you buy a ticket just to see Robert Kiyosaki and Eric Trump? Of course you would.
Of course you would.
But we're also going to be joined by Sean Baker. This is the best-selling author, the guy who invented the carnivore diet.
Oh, yeah.
Dr. Sean Baker. He's been on Joe Rogan multiple times. He's going to be joining us. So you've got Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Eric Trump, Sean Baker. The lineup continues to grow, and this is how we do our tickets here at the Thrivetime Show. If you want to get a VIP ticket, you can absolutely do it. It's $500 for a VIP ticket. We've always done it that way. Now, if you want to take a general admission ticket, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. And the reason why I do that, and the reason why we do that is because we want to make our events affordable for everybody. I grew up without money. I totally understand what it's like to be in a tight spot. So if you want to attend, it's $250 or whatever price you want to pay. That's how I do it. And it's $500 for a VIP ticket. Now, we only have limited seating here. With the most people we've ever had in this building was for the Jim Brewer presentation. Jim Brewer came here, the legendary comedian Jim Brewer came to Tulsa, and we had 419 people that were here. 419 people.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's no more room. I felt kind of bad that if a couple people had VIP seats in the men's restroom. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. But I thought, you know what, we should probably add on. So we're adding on what we call the upper deck, or the top shelf. So the seats are very close to the presenters, but we're actually building right now. We're adding on to the facility to make room to accommodate about another 30 attendees or more. So again, if you want to get tickets for this event, all you have to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. When you go to thrivetimeshow.com, you'll go there, you'll request a ticket, boom. Or if you want to text me, if you want a little bit faster service, you say, I want you to call me right now. Just text my number. It's my cell phone number, my personal cell phone number. We'll keep that private between you, me, everybody. We'll keep that private. And anybody. Don't share that with anybody except for everybody. That's my private cell phone number. It's 918-851-0102. 918-851-0102. I know we have a lot of Spanish-speaking people that attend these conferences. And to be bilingually sensitive, my cell phone number is 918-851-0102.
That is not actually bilingual. That's just saying Juan for a one. It's not the same thing.
I think you're attacking me. Now, let's talk about this. Now, what kind of stuff will you learn at the Thrivetime Show workshop? So, Aaron, you've been to many of these over the past 7-8 years. So let's talk about it. I'll tee up the thing, and then you tell me what you're going to learn here, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
You're going to learn marketing and branding. What are we going to learn about marketing and branding?
Oh, yeah. We're going to dive into, so many people say, I got to get my brand known out there, like the Trump brand, right? You want to get that brand brand out there. It's like, how do I actually make people know what my business is and make it a household name? You're going to learn some intricacies of how you can do that.
You're going to learn sales. So many people struggle to sell something. This just in, your business will go to hell if you can't sell. So we're going to teach you sales. We're going to teach you search engine optimization, how to come up top in the search engine results. We're going to teach you how to manage people. Aaron, you have managed, no exaggeration, hundreds of people throughout your career and thousands of contractors. And most people struggle with managing people. Why does everybody have to learn how to manage people?
Well, because first of all, you either have great people or you have people who suck. And so it can be a challenge. Learning how to work with a large group of people and get everybody pulling in the same direction can be a challenge. But if you have the right systems, you have the right processes, and you're really good at selecting great ones, and we have a process we teach about how to find great people. When you start with the people who have a great attitude, they're teachable, they're driven, all of those things, then you can get those people all pulling in the same direction.
So we're going to teach you branding, marketing, sales, search engine optimization. We're going to teach you accounting. We're going to teach you personal finance, how to manage your finance. We're going to teach you time management. How do you manage your time? How do you get more done during a typical day? How do you build an organization if you're not organized? How do you do organization? How do you build an org chart? Everything that you need to know to start and grow a business will be taught during this 2-day interactive business workshop. Now, let me tell you how the format is set up here. And again, folks, this is a 2-day interactive 15. Think about this, folks. It's 2 days. Each day it starts at 7 a.m. and it goes until 5 p.m. So from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m., 2 days. It's a 2-day interactive workshop. The way we do it is we do a 30-minute teaching session, and then we break for 15 minutes for a question and answer session. So, Aaron, what kind of great stuff happens during that 15-minute question and answer session after every teaching session?
I actually think it's the best part about the workshops, because here's what happens. I've been to lots of these things over the years. I've paid many thousands of dollars to go to them. And you go in there and they talk in vague generalities, and they're constantly upselling you for something, trying to get you to buy this thing or that thing or this program or this membership. And you leave not getting your very specific questions answered about your business or your employees or what you're doing on your marketing. And what's awesome about this is we literally answer every single question that any person asks, and it's very specific to what your business is.
And what we do is we allow you as the attendee to write your questions on the whiteboard.
Yep.
And then we literally, as you mentioned, we answer every single question on the whiteboard. And then we take a 15-minute break to stretch and to make it entertaining when you're stretching. And this is a true story. When you get up and stretch, you'll be greeted by mariachis.
Sure.
There's going to probably be alpaca here, llamas, helicopter rides, a coffee bar, a snow cone. There's just...
You had a crocodile one time. That was pretty interesting.
I should write that down and actually do that.
Sorry for that one guy that we lost.
The crocodile, we duct taped its face so that we duct taped.
No, it was a baby crocodile.
And it was duct tape.
Yeah, duct tape around the mouth so it didn't bite anybody. But it was really cool passing that thing around and
I should do that. We have a small petting zoo that will be assembled. It's going to be great. And then you're in the company of hundreds of entrepreneurs. So there's not a lot of people in America today. In fact, there's less than 10 million people today, according to U.S. Debt Clock, that identify as being self-employed. So if you have a country with 350 million people, that means you have less than 3% of our population that's even self-employed. Yeah. So you only have 3 out of every 100 people in America that are self-employed to begin with. And when Inc. magazine reports that 96% of businesses fail by default, you have a 1 out of 1,000 chance of succeeding in the game of business. But yet the average client that you and I work with, we can typically double this. And this is no hyperbole, no exaggeration. And I have thousands of testimonials to back this up. We have thousands of testimonials to back it up. But when you work with a home builder, when I work with a business owner, we can typically double the size of the company within 24 months.
Yeah.
Double. And you say double? Yeah, there's businesses that we have tripled. There's businesses we've grown 8x. There's so many examples you can see at thrivetimeshow.com. But again, this is the most interactive, best business workshop on the planet. This is objectively the highest rated and most reviewed business workshop on the planet. And then you add to that Robert Kiyosaki, the best-selling author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. You add to that Eric Trump, the man that runs the Trump Organization. You add to that Sean Baker. Now you might say, but Clay, is there more? I need more. Well, okay, Tom Wheelwright is the wealth strategist
great.
for Robert Kiyosaki. So
Yeah,
people say,
he's
Robert
awesome.
Kiyosaki, who's his financial wealth advisor? Who's the guy who manages, who's his wealth strategist? His wealth strategist, Tom Wheelwright, will be here. And you say, Clay, I'm not going to get a ticket unless you give me more. Okay, fine. We're going to serve you the same meal both days. True story. We cater in the food, and because
Simple.
I keep it simple, I literally bring him the same food both days for lunch. It's Ted Escondido's, an incredible Mexican restaurant. That's going to happen. And Jill Donovan, our good friend, who is the founder of Rustic Cuff. She started that company in her home, and now she sells millions of dollars of apparel and products. That's rusticcuff.com. And someone says, I want more. This is not enough.
Give me more.
Okay, I'm not going to mention their names right now because I'm working on it behind the scenes here. But we've got one guy who's given me a verbal to be here, and this is a guy who's one of the wealthiest people in Oklahoma, and nobody really knows who he is because he's built systems that are very utilitarian, that offer a lot of value. He's made a lot of money in the it's where you rent. It's short term. Not. It's where you're renting storage spaces. He's a storage space guy. He owns the. What do you call that? The rental.
Storage space.
Storage units.
Yeah.
This guy owns storage units. He owns railroad cars. He owns a lot of assets that make money on a daily basis, but they're not like customer facing. Most people don't know who owns the mini storage facility, or most people don't know who owns the warehouse that's passively making money. Most people don't know who owns the railroad cars, but this guy, he's given me a verbal that he will be here, and we just continue to add more and more success stories. So if you're out there today and you want to change your life, you want to give yourself an incredible gift, you want a life-changing experience, you want to learn how to start and grow a company, go to thrivetimeshow.com. Go there right now, thrivetimeshow.com. Request a ticket for the 2-day interactive event. Again, the day here is March 6th and 7th. March 6th and 7th, we just got confirmation. Robert Kiyosaki, best-selling author, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, he'll be here. Eric Trump, the man who leads the Trump organization. It's going to be a blasty blast. There's no upsells. Aaron, I could not be more excited about this event.
I think it is incredible. And there's somebody out there right now, you're watching and you're like, but I already signed up for this incredible other program called Smoke Your Way to Thin. I think that's going to change your life. I promise you, this will be 10 times better than that.
Looks like I picked the wrong week to quit smoking.
Don't do the Smoke Your Way to Thin conference. That is, I've tried it. Don't do it.
Yeah, chain smoking is not a viable. I mean, it is life-changing. It is life-changing. If you become a chain smoker, it is life-changing.
Not the best weight loss program, though.
Right, really.
So
if you're looking to have life-changing results in a way that won't cause you to have a stoma, get your tickets at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's Aaron Antis. I'm Clay Clark, and reminding you and inviting you to come out to the 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show workshop right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I promise you, it will be a life-changing experience. We can't wait to see you right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.